How to trim and decorate a wrapper cake. So in this video you are going to learn how to trim and decorate a wrapper cake. So the first thing I'm doing is to add in my dual rod to the cake. So I'm using square cakes, and it's going to be two layer cakes. So I'm just going to be trimming out that square cake first. So this is just me basically trimming the square cake. So once I'm done with that, I'm going to be using a smaller knife. So I'm going to be using a smaller knife to curve it out. You see the way I'm curving it. So it's just like folding. Wrapper is something that is folded. So that is what I'm doing now. I'm trying to fold it, like trimming it to have that kind of fold shape. I don't know if you get it. So this is the back of the wrapper cake. So I'm going to be trimming it to give me that folded kind of shape at the back. So that's what I'll be doing now. So the next thing I will do now is to carve out the sides. So that side that is being folded inside is what I'll be doing now. So I'm just going to draw a first line. I'm going to draw a first line on the top of the cake, or you can call it the front. So I'm going to just watch what I'll be doing. I'm going to draw a straight line, then I'll start carving out that line that I just did or made on the cake. So I'll just be carving out that line. So it's just like a straight line that will go into the side, from front to the sides. So I'm just going to be carving it out. So once I am done with the upper line, I'm going to take it down. I'm just going to be taking it down, like the way they fold wrapper. So that's just what I'm doing. I'm going to be taking it down from just this first line. I'm going to draw it to the down part. You see how it is. Another thing I will do is to place my ruler on it. This is just to make sure that I get that accurate lines, like the two sides. I want it to be equal. I don't want one to be longer than the other. So that's why I'm using my ruler, to make sure I get that straight line, and I want the two sides to be accurate. I don't want one to be taller than the other. That's just basically what I'm doing here. So the next thing I will do is to cut out the those down parts, is to fold it in like a fold shape. I don't want it to have that sharp edge that square cakes have. So that's what I'm doing, because it will not look like a wrapper cake. If you leave that sharp lines, let me use the word lines. If you use that sharp lines that square cakes normally have, you are not going to get that shape that we are looking for. So that's what I'm doing at the bottom now. I'm trying to scrape it to make sure that I remove those sharp lines. So that's what I am doing here. So for some of you that are always complaining that your cakes are dry, your cake, please, this is how I make my cake, and my customers, they don't complain. The last video I did, a lot of persons were even saying that your customers will complain, or they will just one even said your customer will cry that the cake is not good, the cake is dry. My cakes are not dry, I beg you. If you are not okay with it, please, you can just pass. I'm not doing it for, I don't know how to put it. So what I am going to be doing next is to I'm just using butter icing to coat my cake. I don't know if I should call it crumb coat, since it's not crumb cake crumbs I'm using. I'm just using only butter icing. So this is going to act as a glue for my fondant. Once I'm placing my fondant, this is also going to help it, and it also give it a good taste while you are while the customer is eating the cake. So I know some persons will say you are using your bare hands. So at this time, this is around 12 abi 1 a.m. in the night. I was tired of gloves, so I had to go and wash my hands. My hands are properly washed. All those ones that you be saying that you are using your bare hands to touch the cake, please, my hands are not dirty. At this time, my hands were sweating because it was very late in the night that I was making this video. So the next thing, I'm going to roll out my fondant. So I'm using the full covering method for this cake, because it's a wrapper cake. So I'm just going to be rolling it out. Then I'm going to use the exact measurement that I used, like the exact measurement that the cake has. I'm going to use it to roll out my fondant. Then I'm going to cover my cake. So one of the major work here in wrapper cake is covering your cake with fondant. It's very difficult because, number one thing, if your fondant is the measurement of your fondant, or the recipe of your fondant is not good, you are going to have issues while covering it. So you are going to make sure that the recipe is perfect. I have a perfect recipe on how to make fondant cake in my channel, so just go through that, you see it. So you are just going to make sure that your recipe is good, and make sure that while rolling out your fondant is not thin. So look at it. At this time, some persons normally encounter issues. The fondant will start tearing. Why? Because there are holes, which is those sides. You see those sides that you'll be pressing it in, you see it. Sometimes your fondant will tear, they will break. If your recipe is not good at this time, you will start crying. I'm telling you, I'm not just joking. I've experienced it before. I've also seen somebody experience this thing. It was terrible. So you just notice that it's tearing if your fondant is not good. So make sure that your fondant is good. So you are just going to use your fondant tools to place that inside. So another thing you should do is to cut out those excess fondant. Cut it out so that it will not start stretching the body of the cake, or the main fondant. So you are going to cut it out before you continue working on the cake. So once you finish cutting it out, the excess, you are going to chook it inside. You see what I am doing? So it is a wrapper cake, so that it can give you that shape. If you leave it for it to be straight, there is going to change the shape of the cake. So you are going to just cut it and choke place them inside. Use your tools. See what I am doing? I'm just choking them inside to make sure that it's giving me that shape, that wrapper shape that I'm looking for. So that's what I'm going to be doing. After doing that, I'm just going to use my smoother to smoothen it out. So that place that is showing crumbs, like cake crumbs, I'm going to smoothen it out to make sure that it's not showing it anymore. So the next thing I will do is to cover my board. So make sure you cover your board. This is the method I'm going to be using to cover my board. So the next thing I will do is to use my steamer to steam the cake, so just to give me that shiny look and remove those excess flour on it. Then I'm going to use my alphabet cutter to write out the name I'm going to write on it. Then use my mold to make some design. You can just use your mold, or you use your, what's it called, is this lace mat. You can use lace mat to also make your design on it. So that's it for how to make wrapper cake. So please like, share and subscribe. I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye.